Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Mike and you're watching Triple T Acres. And in today's video, we are going to be installing a canopy on my tractor. It is going to be mounted to the rollover protection up here on my tractor. And I couldn't be more excited about getting this thing put on. You know, we all can't afford a cab and the AC, which would be so nice, maybe someday. But at least in the meantime, I can install one of these, get that sun rays off of me, and hopefully prevent some skin cancer and just a little bit more comfort while I'm out there brush hogging or doing any other tractor work. But in this video, I'm going to do an install on it. It's not going to be a how-to, although you could probably get that out of this video. But I spent my hard-earned money on this canopy, and there were multiple companies I could choose from. So I'm going to talk about why I chose this tractor canopy, and you can guarantee there will be an unbiased review on this. So if it is a difficult install, I'm going to tell you. If it's easy, I'm going to tell you, and it's going to be the truth. So guys, I hope that you enjoy this video and maybe it'll help you consider either this company or choosing another company for your tractor canopy. So I hope you enjoy the video. All right, so the canopy that I chose is the RhinoHide canopy, and it's from tractorcanopy.com. And you may be familiar with that name because it was purchased by GoodWorks Tractors. And they've got a YouTube channel. They have amazing content out there. I watch all of their stuff. And I actually reached out to them to see if they could supply this for me so that I could create a video on it and maybe help promote their product. It's just a common thing that YouTubers do. It helps us create content. But I was a little bit too small of a YouTube channel for them to invest in me just yet. And I totally understand. But you can make a difference in that by hitting the like, hitting the subscribe, commenting, and sharing my videos. That would be awesome. But besides the fact, I reached out to them. They said no, and that's okay. I also reached out to another company called Artillion Tractors, and Artillion turned me down as well. And I, again, totally understand. I don't have a huge following just yet. But either way, what that ended up making me do is get out my wallet just like you. And I'm not above anybody else, but when you're a content creator, this is kind of the thing that you do. And it's one of the benefits for us, but it also gives you guys some good content to watch and help make informed decisions on, again, whether you want to purchase a certain product or not. So I had to get my wallet out and pay for this with my own money. So you can guarantee that I'm going to be very honest, whether this is going to be an easy install or not. So I'm going to get into why I chose this canopy while we're installing it. But first, let's get this thing out of the box. All right, so here is all of the items in the box. They've got a few of these bars. This is what holds the canopy, some brackets, and some hardware here. So not a whole lot in the box. It's a super light system. It's really one of the reasons why I wanted to get it. This is going to be something that I can take on and off of my tractor as I wish. So if I'm going to be in some really heavy timber and I'm going to be dealing with sticks, I can take it off. Or if I'm going to be transporting it, I'll be able to take this thing off. So I'm going to get all the hardware organized and get into the instructions and start the install. All right, so the first thing you need to do when you're installing these, according to the instructions, is install these L brackets. And what's nice about these is pretty universal. So you can mount them on the back, you can mount them on the front. There's so many different ways and different variations, which is one of the reasons why I chose this canopy. The other companies I was looking at, you needed to mount the canopy on the top of this bar. So they'd have whatever their mounting system here. And even if they were a quick release, you still had to remove them from the top of your ROPS. Well, if you understand how shade works, is the closer you are to the shade, the more you're going to get. So what's nice about this system is I can actually measure this down. And if I get positioned here in my seat, and this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to sit down in your seat and get an idea of where your head is. I can just eyeball it. About here seems like it would be good. Now you got to find the safe place where it's not going to be so close to your head that you're going to be hitting it every time you try to get out of your seat. Although with any canopy, you're still going to have to duck. But I want to maximize the shade. So I am going to hand tighten these. And again, this is all completely adjustable according to the instructions. I'm going to mount these things right around in here. There's a lock washer that goes on there, and then your hex nut. And again, I'm just going to do these hand tight because if I don't like where they're at, I can always slide them up or down. All right, so we got that eyeballed. I'll obviously put a level on it here in a minute. Let's see how well this looks once we put these little brackets on. So I went ahead and put a level on this, and that's good to go. Again, this might be temporary. It might be perfect where it's at. The next step in the instructions were to take this little bracket here, and it's got a bolt and a washer. So I got the bolt washer, stick that in, run the washer and the nut on the end of that. And this is a lock nut too. If what I understand in the instructions, they've got 2 holes here. The bottom hole does not matter at all. It just makes it universal. So if you flip it around the other side, you'll use it as the top. So the top one's the most important. Where we're gonna get our angle is we're gonna have to pre-drill a hole out once we figure that out. You'll see that here in just a second. And I'm just gonna snug these down too, just enough so I can still twist this bracket. Again, just enough that I could spin it. It's not super tight, and then it'll hold its position. All right, so now we put our roof brackets on to give us an idea of the pitch that we want. So there's that one. I'll have to snug that up a little more so it'll hold position. Now this looks like my top is going to be too high. So now that I have this on there, I can eyeball it, and you can kind of see from your angle, I need to remove these brackets down. So that's why everything is not permanent just yet. So let me move these brackets down, because as of right now, if I sat under it, yeah, I want them to be for a little bit further down. So I'm gonna move these brackets down to get this about 6 inches above my head or so. All right, let's do that. All right, so it looks like it's perfect. I have these brackets, and my tractor is the LS XR3135. It looks like when I get these U-bolts basically resting on these back brackets, seems to be a perfect position. I think I like that. That doesn't look bad. I could bring these down. Man, that seems like that would be some good shade. I like it. So the next thing I gotta do is I gotta pre-drill a hole here, and that will set this pitch. And once I do that, then I'll be able to put that canopy top on, put 2 bolts in, and then I think we're gonna be good to go. All right, so I've got these in position where I think they are good. I eyeballed them, and then I went ahead for good measure went ahead and put a level across to make sure that these things are side to side level. So the next thing I need to do is drill out these holes, and they're 3/4 inch holes. And I've got a clamp that I'm gonna hold them in place while I pre-drill those holes, and then that should lock them in that position. So let's do that right now. All right, so we've got the brackets in the position we want. Now we're gonna take a clamp. I've snugged these down a little bit more, checked to make sure it was level. And now what I wanna do is I wanna put a clamp here to make this thing not shift as much as possible. And you can see right here is a 3/4 inch hole that they already have pre-drilled. All you have to do is run your drill bit into that hole and come out the other side of this bracket, and that's where the next bolt is gonna go. Move our clamp. All right, so these are pre-drilled now, and all I gotta do is run these bolts. And this is what locks that into position. All right, just gotta do the same thing on the other side. Rock solid. All right, well, the next step is getting the roof canopy on top. All right, so this is when we make the position, and man, this is going to be nice. I can already tell. There's 2 holes in the bottom of this right here, and you need to line them up with these ribs. So when you find the perfect spot, which to me, this would be the perfect spot, but I'm not lined up with a rib. So I need to move it forward to a rib, which is right there. That's not bad at all. Got plenty of room above my head. I feel like this is gonna be really nice. All right, so now I gotta pre-drill these holes and run those bolts in it, and we should be finished at that point. I'm running the bolts up from the bottom and then putting the big flat washer on the top just so I don't hit my head on any of the bolts hanging down. This thing is done. This is gonna be nice. I can't wait for a sunny day to try it out. But here's what's cool about it. So I've got a little hand bolt on the back. Break that loose. Break this one loose. And in theory, this should just slide straight up and off. Wow. You know, and that's light. If I'm going to be transporting it, or if I don't want it to get abused, I can take it off. And then let's see how easy it is to put it back on. Wow, just like that. Tighten these up. Good to go. The reason why I went with RhinoHide is a few things. You can go to GoodWorks Tractor and watch some of these torture tests. They have beat this thing with a sledgehammer. They've ran it over. They say they've never had one returned to them. That was one. It looked like it was super durable, made in the United States. The other thing was the price. It was at a good price point with free shipping. And my experience with that was great. I ordered it and it was at my house in just a few days. They sent me an email. They sent me the tracking. I knew exactly when that thing was going to hit my door, and it did exactly the way they said it was going to. The other thing is the versatility. With most other tractor canopies, again, they have to go on the very top, the ones that I've seen. And I really like the idea that I can move this thing up or down. Simple as loosening a few bolts, I can move the thing up. I could switch it to the back. I mean, it's pretty infinite, just a few things to change. I could also buy these brackets right here that accepts this and put it on a zero turn. And I think I'm gonna do that after I've done the install. That's gonna be as simple as just adding 2 bolts. Well, that was the install of the RhinoHide canopy. And honestly, that was really easy to install, super easy step-by-steps on their YouTube channel. And I will say that the directions that they send you, they're pretty crappy. But that doesn't matter. As long as you have an internet connection and you can go and look at them, the step-by-steps that GoodWorks Tractor does on their YouTube channel is great. But I hope that you got a good insight on just another opinion, not coming directly from the company. Again, I am not sponsored by them whatsoever. I bought this with my hard-earned money, and I will say that this seems like it's gonna hold up, but time will tell. Guys, if you like this kind of content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, but until next time, we'll see you in the next video.